Hey! Welcome back to the garage. Today, restorative workout for today. Caroline Patterson asked for a little bit of get up work, get up practice. So we're just going to go through the get up. Oh, actually I forgot a foam roll. We're going to go through the get up. We're going to do some foam rolling. And then we're going to go through a quick warm up and then jump into the position 1 and position 2 get up drills that we taught during the get up clinic. So if you don't have your equipment yet, give me a second to run inside and grab a foam roll. You don't need a kettlebell. So just something to balance on your hand to hold you accountable to the arm position. If you have a bell, a 12 or a 10 or an 8, that would be perfect. We need something for a halo, so either a mini band or a sandbag for a press out. If you have a sandbag, actually, you could do these exercises in that bridging position, pulling the bag apart too. Give me 30 seconds, grab your stuff, and then we will get going. Make sure you have a foam roll. Enjoy my garage. All right, cool. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Sam. Hey, Julie. Hey, Nina. Hey, Sam. Hey, Ed. Coach Caitlin just called me. I hope everything's okay. Ed, can you reach out to her and see if there's anything that she needs? I asked her to reach out to Kathleen. Excellent. So, starting with foam rolling, no reason to, not get started. Just getting some upper back first. So, foam roll's behind you. When the foam roll is higher up on the back, we're going to go hands behind the head and then elbows a little closer. From there, we're going to pick up our butt and just start foam rolling the muscles between the shoulder blades. So keep the elbows pretty close. You don't have to touch them, but don't let them necessarily flare out like that, right? So just make sure you're breathing. One of the other silly things I like to do on this is just go one arm overhead. Just kind of feel the difference side to side. So we don't want to go too far down on the low back. We want to go from kind of middle of the shoulder blades, maybe where your MyZone strap might be, to maybe about 8 inches above your waistline. So I like going to get that middle third of that middle quarter of your back. Hands go under the armpits. You're going to squeeze the armpits and then keep squeezing the armpits and squeezing the hands to get that last, or that 3/4 distance of the back. And the reason I wanted to throw some foam rolling in there is just with the get up is just a great combination. Hey, Julie. Thank you for using my full name. Very important. Just the get up and foam rolling and restorative exercise all go hand in hand. So why not throw some foam rolling in there? We just did our upper back. If you've never done lats before, don't tune out now. You're going to start on your side. You have the top of the bottom of your shoulder. You have your lat coming up. We're going to kind of hit the middle there. It's our posterior rotator cuff. And then we're going to get a little extra. So you're going to love it. So we're going to be here. I like knees in bent at 90 degrees, kind of like a fetal position type thing going on. You're going to let your head rest. Arm is overhead as far as possible. And then we're just going to take our heart and kind of face it 45 degrees from the ground. So that might feel pretty nasty already. I know, Julie, you love this one. The big thing with any of this foam rolling stuff, guys, is make sure that you're breathing. So it's super easy when you find that spot that feels really nasty to hold your breath. Don't do that. So you see I'm kind of just rolling laterally across the tissue. Find that crappy spot. And breathe. Maybe get one more spot. So now, as opposed to being in that little crease, we're going to shoot a little lower, and that's going to be more lat. And then again, you're going to roll, face your heart towards the sky. Ooh. Let the head rest. And then, just like we would do on the quad, and we're going to do in the quad in a second, just small little micro rolls over that. Eee. Excellent. So that's your lats. Make sure you get both sides. To get your glutes, you guys know the drill. We're going to sit on the foam roll. 3 options. Knees together and rolling on the butt. I also like taking the glute that you're rolling. I like taking that leg and extending it out and kind of having my instep facing the ceiling. Just changes the feeling of the musculature a little bit. Hey, Stephanie, we're foam rolling, welcome. And then the last option would be taking that leg and going up and over the top. So this is where you're going to feel a little bit more of the foam roll towards the crest of your hip. Big word. I don't know which one it was, but I'm sure it was a good one. Musculature, yes, thank you. Big Steve is a huge crossword puzzle guy, so, you know, can't look like a slouch. Can't look like any geek on the street. Name the movie, or name the song. So, those are your options. Again, and also notice, like, does one side feel different than the other, especially with the leg stuff? Does one position feel different than the other? Last foam rolling position, get in that quad. So, gonna go hands and knees. Foam roll is gonna start right at the top of the hip. I have to get my head in the frame. And then from there, we're rolling. So you can kind of see it. This leg's gonna be up and out to the side to help support the low back. So sometimes you'll see people try to do both quads at the same time, and you can just see their lower back is just completely, slouched down. Not necessarily the wrong thing, but I would say it's more effective to do one side at a time, and you're just less likely to do something weird to your back if there is any kind of considerations that need to be thought about or considered. So, starting at the top of the hip, finding that first spot that feels kind of crappy, pause and breathe on it, get those micro rolls over that spot. The big bang for your buck, we did functional bodybuilding the other day, and we talked about bending the knee. So you're going to find that crappy spot, breathe, micro rolls, and then pow, bend the knee. And that spot is pinned, and then you bend the knee, and it puts a good amount of stress on that tissue and really opens it up. Again, make sure that you can breathe while you do this. Getting into the warm-up, we have your supine leg lock breathing. So a new leg lock or a new breathing position that we've brought into small group. And the reason I'm doing that is because get up is a very unilateral exercise, right? So if we can just do some breathing positions that bias one side over the other, maybe we get a little bit more mobility or stability out of our breathing practice in the beginning of the workout. So we're going to be here, and then leg lock position. We're just going to hold the knee. I don't need you to crush it towards you. Just hold it gently, and then breathing in and out of the nose. If you feel any what we call closing angle pain, so if you pick up that leg and you feel kind of pinchiness or crampiness, like more pinchiness and sharpness in the crease of the hip, just put the foot on the floor. Get the other side. Notice any differences side to side. All right. From there, we have your tactical frog with the leg out to the side. So we're going to go hands and knees. Knees kind of wide, and then we're going to take one leg and bring it out to the side. So from here, we're just rocking. And breathing while we do it. If you need support under that knee, please grab it. I'm actually looking at a gardening pad as we speak. Get the other side. The goal is not necessarily to be in a split, but again, get up is a unilateral exercise. You're going to see in the first position that leg's going to be out to the side. So if we can open up the groin and some of the inner thigh musculature, you got it, Julie. Just count how many times I do it. Report at the end. Maybe it just feels better. Halo next. So grab that bell upside down, nice and slow around the head. If you don't have a halo weight or it doesn't feel good, press out with the sandbag or mini band press out. And then Goblet Squat Pry. So not an exercise that we show very often, but a great exercise again to open up the hips. So I'm going to tilt this thing up. Goblet Squat Pry is not like a strength building squat variation. It's more of a drill to open up the hips. So I actually want you to get deep into the squat as long as it feels comfortable. Julie, you can probably try this on a balance beam, or if you have, like typically at home, I might suggest like 2 5-pound plates or something like that, or maybe 2 towels. Gonna clean the bell up into goblet, pull down, and then my knees are my elbows are on the inside of my knees. I'm gonna drive the knees in and drive the elbows out to create tension, and then I'm just rocking side to side. So my heels can come off the floor. You can kind of see it on my right heel there, right here, right? And the whole time I'm driving the elbows out, and I'm thinking about getting as long and tall as I can. So you don't want to be rounded. You want to be big and tall all the way from the bottom of your butt to the top of your head, and then drive out of the bottom. So let's get one more. Find the squat position, pull down into it, drive the elbows out, and rock side to side. One of Sam Buckley's favorite warm-up drills. June, what's up? So again, nice and tall, logo is wide on your hoodie, all the way up to the top. Excellent. So that's your warm-up. To get into the workout, we're just going to go through one side on each, one side of the get-up, and then I'll demonstrate and walk you through each movement. I'll try to do it at a pace that allows you to get the feel for it, so it's kind of like being coached in person, right? We are going to start doing some Zoom meetings. It's like nobody ever heard of Zoom, and now Zoom is like the biggest thing on the planet. And we're going to be doing some movement clinics. So Ed mentioned it in his video on his coach page, I believe, or in one of the updates. We're going to be doing just movement drill clinics or whatever. So work on swing, work on some sandbag exercises. We can go into the get up. I want to do the core program that we've done before. Just different things to learn while we have the opportunity. So I'm going to show you with the bell. If you don't have the bell, the trusty Valslide. So just, again, something to put on your fist. We learned in the Get Up Clinic going thumbs up is a great idea too, because you just get a little extra support, because this thing is kind of slippy. You can also use the foam side, less slippy. So you're here. We'll go, I'm going to go right side. So my right hand is facing the ceiling and my right knee is bent. My left leg is going to be long. So I'm going to be here. And then first move is just a head turn. So we're going to be just, obviously move into whatever range of motion feels good. You can just start with some eye turns first. Big thing I want you to focus on this is the breath, right? So breath in and out of the nose, tongue against the roof of your mouth, all that jazz, a little bit more restorative style. If this starts to becoming too intense and we start getting the breath in and out of the mouth or into the nose, out of the mouth, maybe we're not 100% getting the point. So we're here. Head turn is very clear. Look one way, look the other. There's no specific breathing cadence. Just do it. Stand by. All right. So that's position 1. Get up with head turns. Position 2, we have get up with shoulder rotation. So here, we're literally just going to, I don't want you to think about turning your wrist. The goal isn't to get the biggest range of motion possible. It's to try to make the rotation come from as much from in the socket as possible. So I like thinking about turning the elbow. So we're going to turn the elbow in and turn the elbow out. And make sure that, especially when you turn the elbow in, you don't turn so much that the shoulder rotates. The shoulder stays packed, and it's just the elbow where you're going to see a lot of the action. If people focus on the wrist, you start to see a lot of motion, but really none of it's actually getting into the socket. So shoulder is packed. Kind of think about pulling that shoulder blade on the loaded side down and across towards the opposite pocket. Turn the elbow in, turn the elbow out. So internal rotation, external rotation. Excellent. From there, we're going to go leg raise. So you can bring the long leg in towards center and then just raise the leg and bring it back down. Get the breath in. So deep breath in. Exhale as you raise. Bring it back down. The thing to watch out for there is that as you raise the leg, you don't bend the knee. So it's not going to be that drastic, but sometimes you'll get to the top and then bend just to get a little higher. Last one. Excellent. From there, my favorite drill, possibly of all time, leg raise with the ankle circle. So the ankle circle is going to be like this, right? So big circle with the ankle and toes. So we're going to add the leg raise and then big circle. Lower the leg. So I would go, maybe 1 or 2 rotations each way, lower the leg, get like 3 total raises. But I can kind of see it already that I feel like I'm getting higher in the leg raise, and this drill typically tends to help me because I tend to get some weird tightness behind the knee and in the upper calf. So that is already higher than the rep before. Next drill would be our ankle circle, then our hip rotation. So similar to what we did at the shoulder, we're going to do for the hip. Don't think about turning the ankle, think about turning the knee this time. So you're going to raise the leg. I'm going to turn the kneecap out and turn the kneecap in, out, and in, and then lower the leg. Raise the leg, already higher on the leg raise, turn it out, turn it in. Lower the leg. So I can already start to feel myself starting to hold my breath on that move, but massive difference in the height of the leg. So that might be a great drill for me. Pay attention when you go through this stuff. If it feels good or it feels tight. Hey, Caroline, thanks for joining us. I don't know why I yelled. Maybe you can hear me from here. If it feels good or if it feels like super tight but feels better as you go through more reps, something to start to add into possibly your warm-up. If you want to take out one of the drills and put this drill in, I'm never going to fight you if you put in a get-up drill into your warm-up because you think it feels good for you. That was hip turns. Now we're going to connect the hip and shoulder. So we're here. I'm going to raise the leg. Now I'm going to turn the kneecap and elbow towards each other and away from each other. towards each other and away from each other, and then lower the leg. So that's your shoulder and hip turns, elbow and kneecap towards each other and then away from each other. I can already feel this loosening up. Now, I've been sitting in bed doing work, so it's not like a huge surprise that all of a sudden I'm moving better when I'm moving, but don't discount the benefit, right? Last thing we'll do is a bridge. So raise the leg, Valslide still on the hand, and then we're going to drive the bent leg foot through the floor. When you finish the breath, come back down, lower the leg. Remember, with our bridging, the goal isn't to get as high as you can. The goal is to just push through the floor. So you're activating the glute on the bent leg side. You're also getting a little extra like leg raise work through the long leg, especially as you come back down, you hit that very like almost parallel position at the bottom. So obviously replicate those exercises on the other side. Next step up, I'll still show you with the Valslide. A lot of our members have done this in small group lately, over the last like 2 months. We're going to roll up to the elbow, and then we're going to do some stuff from there. So just to go over some of the finer points from the elbow, I'm going to push through the bent leg foot just like I did on the bridge. I'm going to shift my weight. So you can see I'm not crunching up. I'm rolling to the side, and then I'm pulling up to the elbow. So from here, we're going to go back down the list, kind of. So from here, I'm pushing the elbow away. I'm not in like a sloppy, at the beach position. I'm going to push the ground away and get strong, and I'm going to get some head turns. So I'm looking up at the Valslide first, keep pushing down with the elbow. I'm going to look with my eyes, and then follow my eyes down to the elbow, look back up with my eyes, follow my hands back up, follow my head back up to the Valslide. So down, head follows, up, head follows. While you're doing this, don't let this knee cave in. Be active with it. Push it gently into the floor. I don't need you to find a huge heavy foot, but don't get tired here. Push the foot down, push the elbow down, support your body. Because why not support and reinforce a lot of the stuff that we know we need to do to get better at the get up later on. From there, I would roll back down just to relieve to let yourself relax for a second. Shoulder turns next. So again, push through the foot, roll to your side, pull up to the elbow, and then shoulder turn. So I'm still pushing the ground down. I'm still pushing my foot, turning the elbow in, turning the elbow out. Don't be surprised if the range of motion feels different in this position. And this is a good time to talk about why we have the Valslide or why we have the weight. Sometimes when you see people do this, they have their arm out to the side. It's not actually up in the air. It's like kind of in a cockeyed position. So this gives you feedback, because if your hand does go into that position, the Valslide's obviously going to fall off. So we're turning the shoulder. Last but not least, a little bridge here. We're going to treat it like the bent leg inverted row. So we're going to push through that foot. You're going to watch my head rest back a little bit, and my hips are going to come up. So I'm going to show you the wrong way first. So if I don't let my head rock back, and I keep looking down, or even if I keep looking up at the bell, my hip is not even anywhere close to being in between my knee and my shoulder. I'm going to push through the foot and let my head rock back. Massive difference in the height of the hip. So if I bring my head up, my hips come down. If I let my head rock back, I clear the hips and I get in a nice long position. So awesome drill for the glutes. You have a day like yesterday where we do split squats or lunges. Great exercise to just help warm up the lower body. Maybe I'll start kind of introducing some of that stuff in there so you guys can just continue to get the practice. So that's the workout. It's restorative. Not meant to take too much time, maybe 20 minutes, a half hour. From there, if you feel comfortable, I wouldn't use weight if you've never used weight. If you have used weight and you have one, cool. I wouldn't use a dumbbell. We're never going to be able to find the appropriate wrist position. So if you don't have a kettlebell, I would go back to the Valslide or the shoe, and then just get, 5 to 10 get-ups to the elbow, maybe throw a drill in there each time. Roll up, shoulder rotation, roll up, bridge, back down. You could do leg raise here with the internal, external rotation. Like, whatever drill felt good, keep reinforcing it. You're not going to lose out, right? It's going to be super beneficial for you. I'd be interested to see and hear how you guys feel after doing this. I think all of us are probably sitting more than we're used to. So I'm sure this little bit of movement is going to help a lot. And it's fun. It's engaging. I love the get up because it's very cerebral. There's lots of things to focus on: the shoulder position, making sure the knee doesn't collapse in, the foot connection, the breathing. Focus on one thing. Coach Violet is good about talking about just focusing on one thing. So focus on the breath, focus on the rolling, focus on just what feels good. It all works for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow's workout is going to be another conditioning workout. So we're going to do some 30 on, 30 off, or we're going to follow our heart rate monitor. Also, one last thing I will say, we got some feedback from some clients early last week that their MyZone wasn't syncing to their phone. They would open up the workout page and they would just get the spinning wheel. If that happens, delete the app off your phone and reinstall it. It's worked every time. So if you're having a hard time syncing your phone or you're not getting the emails that you're used to, delete the app off your phone, reinstall it, and you don't have to re-register, just log in, and there's going to be a registration button at the top. Don't click that. If it goes to questions that you don't know the answers to, you've already registered. You're good. Go down to the bottom part on that main page that just says email and password, and then log in, and it should work. If you've never synced your phone to your MyZone, shoot me an email. I'm happy to give you a call and talk to you over the phone and walk you through it and give you some of the codes and stuff that you need to get registered. Conditioning workout tomorrow, 30 on, 30 off. Should be a good time. Hope you're all well. Be on the lookout from an update from Coach Ed at 3. Have a great day. Make sure you're drinking water and eating food.